Welcome to the charming tourist town of Estepona. Now, this is probably regarded as one of the prettiest and most authentic towns on this famous coastline. Not as glitzy as its neighbouring Marbella, but there's a lot of quality and an increasing quality to be enjoyed here as far as the facilities, the entertainment, the restaurants and bars, the marvellous seafront which exists here. Really, I can see very clearly the reasons why this is becoming incredibly popular, to the extent that the prices per square metre in this town have more than doubled in the last 5 years alone. And that's not slowing down. The demand here is really strong. And as the properties and new higher quality projects are being planned and slowly delivered, the clientele is gaining not just momentum and numbers, but also quality in relation to the value of the properties and therefore the type of client who is arriving here. You can find some marvellous restaurants. It's got an arty feel. And when I arrived here more than 20 years ago to first experience Estepona, we used to come here for that more authentic Spanish fix for a day out, away from the more international Marbella, certainly at the time. That still exists here, but of course people who are buying here are certainly giving it a much more of an international feel than back in those days. And the town itself has benefited greatly, of course, because 15 years ago or so, this town had a great deal of debt, and now it's completely debt-free. It's delivered amazing facilities, sports stadia, a brand new town hall, which has really given a modern feel to the centre of the town. And of course, at every turn and corner, it seems to be bettering what it already is. So we'll go and take a look, not just here on the Paseo Maritimo, we'll take a look at the Puerto Deportivo and the Ciudad de Deportes in the northwest of the city, so you can hopefully get a good feel for what this town offers. Here in the historic old town of Estepona, we have something really that quite easily rivals, again, the old town of Marbella. But what we don't have here is the feel that it's overly populated with tourists from day to day. It feels like there's space to breathe. It's often regarded to as the garden town of the Costa del Sol. And you can see why. Many of the houses have beautiful flowers in pots outside, and it really does have a lovely feel about it. But despite this amazing traditional centre, of course, we have a city that has been updated with amazing facilities which are just so close by. And within 25 metres or so from here, you can be in a position where you have the sea again in sight. Estepona has some lovely shops, and although it doesn't quite have the selection or the glitz of Marbella, again only 15 to 20 kilometers down the coast, what it does have is a lot of privately owned businesses which still operate in that most traditional of senses. You've got far fewer in the way of brands or chains here. And you don't have a large commercial centre or shopping centre like Marbella does. But of course, all that's in really easy reach. On a normal day, 20 minutes down the AP7. And I think the fact that everything here is so accessible, great parking, more parking being introduced. Literally just behind me is the Paseo Maritimo. The ease in which somebody living here can enjoy the various parts of the town must be really appealing. And it's really flat as well. So for anybody who's wanting to move around somewhere with great ease without any hills, Estepona is also very good in this department. Estepona boasts more than 20 kilometers of coastline. There's more than 12 beaches here, many of which have the blue flag status due to their really high water quality. The Paseo Maritimo, as we saw earlier, is absolutely fabulous for walking, heading along on your bicycle, in which there's cycle lanes. You can really enjoy yourself here and have a rather healthy lifestyle. And all these things contribute to that ongoing and increasing cost per square metre of the properties. We have now got beachfront developments where the prices range between 2.5 and 7 million euros, buying off-plan. That's a great change to the Estepona of 20 years ago, which I first met. And I think we need to appreciate that these type of developments are only going to increase as the people who are buying at that level of property, they arrive here, word gets around with their friends, word gets around in those circles, and more people are moving here to enjoy, because when they arrive, they're made to feel very, very welcome. They're enjoying an atmosphere that is really family focused. It feels so calm. People can relax here very, very easily. Everything feels very natural. And I think going forward, the way that things are being planned and the great work by the town hall, that's only going to continue. So here we are at the Puerto Deportivo, the sporting port of Estepona, which is not just good if you own a boat or you like to take the occasional boat trip, but there's a whole array of nice bars and restaurants in which you could take in the sunset kind of time of the day here, maybe with a cocktail and a nice meal afterwards. Estepona has some really nice features, not just this port. The fisherman's village is just by its side, by the way, in which the restaurants or even the public can go and buy fresh fish in the morning. But we've also got the Selmo area, which has this amazing safari park if you're interested in having a day out with a family or with children. We've got botanical gardens here, amazing orchids, waterfalls and glass domes containing tropical plants and trees. It's got some really nice residential areas, and I've spoken about how the prices have increased and continue to, but also there's great variety in the type of property that you can own here, from having something with really quite a low price to access the market to really high-end villas and of course apartments, which are certainly already constructed but are also under construction at this time and available to buy at the plan. So really it's a magnificent offering to whoever chooses to have a place here to either live or to have as a holiday home, or maybe just to escape to from time to time. As I mentioned before, the feel here is very different, and it is really so relaxed. It feels very, very different to its neighbour Marbella. Marbella is an amazing place, but it feels different here, and that's something which I'd really like to try and put across to people. There's something about it that brings great calmness, and that I think is a big part of it here. So as we reach the end of this video, it's kind of apt that the sun has moved behind some clouds, but we're here now at the sporting part of the city. There's been a huge amount of investment here over the last decade or so. We've got a fabulous stadium for the main local football team, which is in the 4th division. And for anybody who's also into football, it's a great standard in which they can maybe come down here and keep an eye on the local team, enjoy watching the occasional match. And there's been some rather famous coaches from Brazil arrive here in recent years to give their input for the club. It attracts some really good players. There's also the athletic stadium, which is of a really high standard. Many of the national competitions here in Spain are performed here. And all in all, this is the result of great investment. I mentioned earlier, we've moved from a town and city, which really 15 years ago had a lot of debt. It's now completely debt-free. And due to the amount of interest from international buyers, that's only adding to the potential of this town in terms of what they can deliver for their residents. All in all, it's a really exciting time to be in Estepona. And with everything that's been delivered, I strongly believe that this town is going to go from strength to strength. So whatever you're looking for in terms of a property in Estepona, whether it be a place to live, a place to retreat to, or a place for holidays, this is a great town to invest in. Please don't hesitate to pick up the phone, send us an email, a message, however you choose, and let us know that you're interested in hearing more. And Mitchell's Prestige Properties will be delighted to tell you all about this town, show you around a little, and see some really fantastic properties.